In our collective lived experience, a trans identity and medicalisation has not led to more fulfilled and authentic lives. Those teenagers who have medicalised largely live more isolated lives. Many have given up their hobbies, sports, their studies, their jobs. Their mental and physical health has deteriorated and their medical care is uninformed and incomplete. As their families, we are desperately concerned about both their short-term and long-term health. For those who have moved past a trans identity or have had little engagement with the professionalised gender industry, we see growth and personal development, new friendships, new challenges, and re-engagement with their families and interests. In our experience, ruminating on a trans identity is a psychological dead end. I talk about this subject with a lot of people, and a response I often get is, oh, but I have some trans friends, they're really happy being their authentic selves, your experiences are not normal. The experts know what they're doing. To those people, I say, if you wear your rainbow heart on your sleeve, as we are all encouraged to do, you will never hear these stories. If you wear a rainbow lanyard, if you add pronouns to your emails, if you put up -18 posters in your workplace, you are signalling to anybody who has had a bad experience that you have already chosen a side in the debate, that they cannot tell you their story because, for them, you are not a safe person. Stories like ours are all around you. Please be open to them.
Thanks so much, Emma. I forgot to do some polite things at the beginning, so I just wanted to say thanks so much to David Limbrick, who is with us here today, and he's bearing witness to our work, and he's done a power of work himself. So thanks very much, David. And because it is a bit of a career-limiting move as a politician to get involved in this work, I just have to say, Moira, you know, we're with you, and we're sorry you can't be here, and thank you so much. And oh my goodness, how much do we love Sue Chrysanthou? Wow, she's made a world of difference. So we have another politician with us here today, all the way from Western Australia, who we just love to death, Sophia Mormond. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. So thank you, Sophia.
Thank you. Hi. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Hi. Such a pleasure to be here, and fantastic to see you here too, David. Well done. And I know how brave all of you women are to be here. You know, sometimes people say that sexism isn't really a thing anymore in our society. We've got about, 100 police officers for maybe a similar amount of women to keep us safe, simply because we understand that biological sex is real and that the issues that we experience in society often relate to our biological sex. It is crazy that we need so many police officers, for which I'm very grateful that they are here, just so we can do a talk. It's nuts. Anyway, as stated earlier, speaking on behalf of women is a career-limiting move, as it has turned out. I hosted Kelly J. Keane in Perth about 2 years ago, and I have been bullied and cancelled ever since. So we've just had our election in Western Australia. I did run as an independent. Unfortunately, I didn't make it in, but that's okay. I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory nonetheless. I will not waste. I am here and I will speak and I have a voice. So we've got an election coming up, very exciting. I'm just going to mention the US elections here, right? I'm not necessarily pro-Trump, but what a lot of politicians don't understand, that what happened in the US is that lifelong left-leaning feminists, lesbians, and gender-critical women voted for Trump because they understand that gender ideology is more harmful to women and children than the loss of abortion rights. Yeah? People don't get that. They go, oh, those Americans, they're crazy for voting for Trump. But that is one of the reasons that he got in. I'd say to the politicians here running for federal level government need to be aware of that too. Women have a voice, right? We are seeing women starting to be braver, speak up more. We're seeing men joining in this fight as well. We're seeing more healthcare professionals coming on board too, psychologists, psychiatrists, pediatricians, because the gender affirmative care model harms. It doesn't fix anything. It is not indicated for anything. It is simply harmful. No one is born in the wrong body. So, in our election, who to vote for? Okay, some people say don't vote. Please do vote. You've got this little bit of power. Don't squander it by not voting. If you're going to vote above the line, do 1 to 6. Sorry. Yeah, if you're voting below the line, do a minimum of 1 to 20, right, and prioritise women in your voting there. Now, parties not to vote for: the Greens. Yeah? Hey! I tried to table the CAS review in Parliament in Western Australia, and I was told no. The loudest voice was from the Greens and Labor. Don't vote Labor. All right? Don't vote animal justice. Okay? Don't vote legalise cannabis. You'd think that they know what a female is because that's where the good stuff comes from. Anyway, who does know biological reality? We have People First. They've got 2 really strong candidates in Western Australia. I'm not quite sure who they have here, but they are anti-woke and they are pro-sensible, reasonable governance. Then we have the Libertarians. Yeah, they have spoken out about this. Once again, they are for biological reality, which is why we have David Limbrick here, which is really good to see, because the Victorian Parliament here is pretty woke as well. All right. Now, it used to be that I was very much on the left. I'm much more centrist now. So when we look at the left, I believe that the sexual and reproductive functions of women belong to everyone. And on the far right, we have the belief that the sexual and reproductive functions of one woman belong to one man. So neither are really in our favour in regards to our empowerment and bodily autonomy. So, and I'd say that Libertarians and People First are probably the most centrist. Then we start going further to the right. There we have Pauline Hanson, One Nation. She knows what a woman is, and she's going, sorry. Okay, cool. Gap is another one, and that's pretty much it. Focus on those 4. Make sure we go to none of the big ones, right? Let our voice be heard, because women will speak.
Thanks so much, Sophia. I just want to ask if Ruby wants to speak at all. If you do, you come up here and then I'll know that means you want to speak. So, talking of politicians, the Greens hate women, and these laws would not have passed in Victoria if it were not for the Greens. So, and they've just behaved atrociously to a large number of women in the Greens who are holding up the Greens. And one of those, Helen Lewis, is here to speak to us today.
Hi everybody, lovely to be here with you. As Jasmine said, I'm an ex-Green member of about a couple of years, and I'm here today in support of sex-based rights. My main message is, don't vote Greens.
Hey!
Put the Greens last. There are no doubt many Green members opposite us here today amongst the trans right activists baying for our blood, trying to drown us out with their shouty male voices and other noisemakers. Look at who represents the Greens these days. Do not be fooled that the Greens care a toss about the environment. They only ever mention it at election time. They are kidding you. Despite having balance of power in the Senate a while ago, before Lydia Thorpe flamboyantly ditched the Greens did not even try to amend the emissions reduction target or strengthen laws to stop further coal and gas projects. Janet Rice has, to my knowledge, never made a speech about native forests in the Senate, but went on an unhinged rant when Moira Deeming stated in her cool, calm, collected voice that there are only two sexes. You will all remember that video of Janet Rice, a Green senator then, going red-faced, apoplectic and shouty as part of a Senate inquiry. The Greens have now almost fully purged the party of gender-critical people, those who've long held the view that women are defined by their biology, but defined by our biology, as has recently been clarified by the highest court in the UK. The Greens have come to behave like a cult. They assert total control over members and demand a fanatical adherence to gender ideology. Internal committees are now all controlled by queer and trans activists who spend their time hunting down perceived transphobes in the party. You may remember hearing at the Kelly J. Keane Let Women Speak rally just here 2 years ago about a Greens trans woman who received a misconduct finding from the Greens for promoting Nazism, pedophilia and incest. That person was Bianca Haven, a trans woman who was not expelled. He is still in the party, almost running things. He is credited with writing the misconduct clause that defines transphobia within the Victorian Greens. You can look this up. The Greens proudly display it online on their website. The extreme Greens, according to Bianca Haven's vaguely defined word salad, cannot, and I'll just list a few, vilify, discriminate against, intentionally misgender, or attempt to curtail the rights of trans people. They must not deny that non-binary genders exist. There's something about gender trumping sex, and so on, all 8 clauses. But finally, the 9th clause states, a member must not ask leading questions that cover for doing one of the above 8. In other words, transphobia is anything we say it is. Free speech is absent in the Greens. Who saw that coming? When the Vic Green State Council finally agreed to Bianca Haven's definitions and wording of the transphobia clause, Bianca tweeted, "I have finally won the war on women." thus outing himself as not a woman and showing that trans rights activists indeed see this as a war that they must win. I resigned from the Greens a week after attending that first Let Women Speak rally here. You'll remember Adam Bandt and other Greens referring to us as Nazi adjacent. Well, we've all seen how well that worked out in court for John Pesutto, former state opposition leader. Will he be bankrupted as a result? The Greens have never apologised. Instead, they went on to expel me just to make sure of my resignation. They drew up a long list of my tweets and retweets that they found objectionable. And I thank and honour the following people, many of you present today, for providing the insightful and funny tweets that so commanded the Greens' attention. Stasia Fry, Janet Fraser, Kate Pointer, Moira Deeming, Sal Grover, Angie Jones, Kelly J. Keane, and someone with the Twitter handle Greens Against No Debate. I love to reread these tweets that I've got into trouble for. They're just so excellent. One that I love is from Progressive Misogyny, Trans Logic, Australia has a Nazi problem, women are to blame. Trans Logic, women's rights are not under threat and we'll shut down any woman who says they are. And my favourite from Lewis Carroll, Through the Looking Glass, when I use a word, Humpty Dumpty said in a rather scornful tone, it means just what I choose it to mean, neither more nor less. And that's how those people down there have their discussions. One of my favourite Twitter cartoons that disturb the Greens so much shows 3 naked trans women standing around all alone in the women's showers, looking disappointed and saying, "This effing sucks," because no actual women shower there anymore. So remember, put the Greens last.
Hey!
Thanks so much, Helen. Now we have some other interstate visitors, so I must ask Janet Inglis from South Australia, who's a legend as well, to come and talk to us. Janet.
Well, I'm very loud. I'll warn you now, I might drown them out.
Nice, nice.
And that is my one claim to fame. I am a loudmouth, and I will not shut up. And I want everybody to be a loudmouth and not shut up.
Nice.
And I'll tell you what, you call a man, and the real man emerges, doesn't he?
Yeah.
When a woman calls a man, look what can happen. Look at it. Or they'll stand and respectfully listen to women. It's not good enough. Now I have to find what I was going to say. Now, what is the most important thing a woman in Australia needs to know about a man? Is he a woman? Seriously, we all need to know. If we don't want to be sued, booed, and totally screwed over by men, the safest thing to do is to ask him, are you a woman? Because Australian women have undergone a fundamental change since 2013. Australia has transitioned from a land of notable women like Nicole Kidman, Quentin Bryce and Kathy Freeman into a nation where Roxy Tickle is a woman.
Go!
Our proud sporting nation has gone from cheering for Sally Pearson and the Australian Diamonds netball team to making international headlines for allowing 5 men to take to the field in a women's soccer tournament. One of those men is dragging a woman through the courts for refusing to go along with the legal fiction that he's a woman. Because we can't object without risking legal, social and professional sanction and punishment. Julia Gillard, what have you done?
No!
You made men into women and created a new criminal class in Australia. Women who say no. When men are women, women can have nothing. Because when men have women's rights, women have no rights. Your 2013 amendments to the Sex Discrimination Act have stripped Australian women of our right to legally recognise a man, call him a man, and treat him as a man. Peter Dutton, are you a woman? Anthony Albanese, are you a woman? This injustice against all Australian women must be righted. Australian women must regain our rights. We must have our spaces, our sports and our services restored. Because no man is a woman, and no law can obliterate the fundamental and crucial differences between men and women. Julia's amendments are bad law, and her silence on the effects they are having on Australian women damns her as a traitor to us all. I will not be lectured on misogyny by that woman. Repeal the Gillard amendments. Restore our rights. End this dangerous social experiment. Repeal the Gillard amendments. Keep the fire in your belly burning, women. We will prevail.
Woo!
Love it, Janet. So we've come to the end of this event. I'm going to say something, and then Juanita's going to come to the microphone and lead us all in song. So I just have to say I'm sorry to all the women survivors of male sexual violence, but we need to say no to men and women's prisons. If you don't want to listen to what I'm about to say, that's fine. 2 years ago, a 4-year-old girl was sexually assaulted by her father in Melbourne suburbs. Her father forced his daughter to appear in 19 separate occasions in child exploitation footage he made for his dominatrix master, an American pedophile. Victoria Police raided this man's house on September the 15, 2023, seized his electronic devices. They found 77 files categorised as child abuse. The female child in the materials was identified as the man's own 5-year-old daughter. Right now, he is in Phyllis Frost Corrections Facility for women. Premier, these are not our crimes. Could you please move him to the men's? This man claims he is a woman and now asks us to call him, let's say, Rosie Lavender Summer. They always pick the most unusual names. In her sentencing remarks, County Court Judge Nola Nola referred to him as she. Her Honour did this in front of the little girl's mother. Her Honour gave him a pseudonym to affirm his gender identity. Her Honour could have protected the victim's identity with a male pseudonym. If you look it up in the court records from August last year, it is DPP v Hillary Maloney. When former Attorney General Jill Hennessy changed the Births, Deaths and Marriages Act to permit changes to the sex marker on birth certificates, we were promised safeguards against those in the justice system changing their sex marker and/or identity to evade police monitoring and to consider public sentiment and victim perspectives. The law requires permission from the corrections or police commissioners or Justice Department secretaries before any birth certificate can be changed. If an inmate, convicted sex offender, or person on remand wants to change their sex marker, he can lawfully be told, hell no. So, I want to know who approved this pedophile man to become a woman. Was it you, Secretary Kate Horton? Was it you, Emma Catford, as Deputy Secretary, Corrections? I know it wasn't you, and bless you for that, Commissioner Patton, as he wasn't yet on the sex offenders register, which police regulate. I do want to thank the police for having integrity in spite of the extreme gender identity laws this government has enacted. Police charged this man in his legal name, which should have been the end of the story. Again, Premier, these are not our crimes. Crime Statistics Agency, Victoria, is this pedophile daughter rapist recorded as a woman? Women in prison have human rights to be safe and not to be imprisoned with men who have been convicted of violent sexual crimes against women, or any men for that matter. Women are concerned by the growing numbers of men who experience prison-onset gender dysphoria. It must also be noted that Phyllis Frost has a mother-baby unit. What prison commissioner in their right mind would put a convicted male pedophile in this location? I can't understand why a succession of women attorney generals in this state, Jill Hennessy, Jacqueline Symes and Sonia Kilkenny, have presided over this travesty against locked up women. I've given up appealing to their better consciences. Let's see if men like Brendan Kassane, our Director of Public Prosecutions, has compassion for incarcerated women or child sexual assault survivors. When will you appeal, Brendan? Brendan, why was this man given just 4 years from a possible 30 for the heinous crimes he committed? Premier, with respect, talk to corrections and get him out of our women's prison and put him in the male estate. Thank you. Juanita, we're going to sing the women's rights song that the women in Scotland have been singing. So it's to the Old Lang Syne music. We do need to finish a little bit earlier than we planned because the police have done an awesome job, and it's completely unacceptable that they come to work and have eggs thrown at them and people spit at them and generally be psychotic towards them. And so we're going to wrap up a little bit early so the police can go home safely. But first we're going to have a song, so enjoy. And Nina, did you want to help us? Yeah.
Hello, Melbourne.
Hey.
I've just got to get this down a bit. Can we get the microphone down a little bit? No, okay. Right. Okay, just so it's high enough for Nina. Now, everyone that's got a song sheet, would you like to actually come closer together, and then your voice that want to sing, and then your voices will actually sound. And also, someone wants a photo of us all going. So if that can be done at the end of the song or whenever you want, that's not a problem. I'm not singing because I'm not allowed to sing at home. My voice is so bad. So Nina is going to take over, and at the end of the day, we want our politicians to stand up for us and stand up for women's rights instead of ignoring us and reinstating our sex-based rights. Nina, take it away.
I was gonna start here. We stand like that. Stand together side by side, we will defend our rights. We stand together side by side, we'll not give up this fight. For women's rights are human rights, we won't let you forget. For women's rights are human rights, this isn't over yet. Politicians and their friends may think we can be cowed. Our minds and bodies will defend, our no will ring out loud. No! For women's rights are human rights, we won't let you forget. For women's rights are human rights, this isn't over yet. So here's a hand in sisterhood, our sex won't be denied. For dignity, reality, we are standing side by side. For women's rights are human rights, we won't let you forget. For women's rights are human rights, this isn't over yet.
Okay, everyone, the police are going to give us an escort to the left. So if the marshals could take your positions, and we're going to go that way. There are some TRAs up there, but the police are going to help us out with that. So don't worry, we're going.
Sorry about the beginning of the feed. I don't know why I lost, but I videotaped them. I'm going to put them up later. I didn't talk myself, but I talk all the time anyway. Thank you for Melbourne. Thank you for Jasmine and the team. Thank you, and it's been an honour doing the live stream here today for you. And I'll post a few videos later. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Pull down anything you can. It doesn't have to be interviewing. Have to come upstairs.
We're going to pull down. Bye, guys.